Hey, it's Dad from Happy Place to Grow. Welcome into my channel. Now it's almost the month of May, and I know if you're a teacher or a caregiver or even a homeschool mom, you're thinking about wrapping up this school year and you're very, very busy trying to close up things. I know the month of May for me as a classroom teacher was always my very busiest month because I had to schedule lots of testing and filling out report cards and thinking about awards. But I also looked forward to the month of May because there were lots of fun activities that we could do as a class once all of our testing sessions were done. You know, we had to fill up some of our end of the school year days, but I didn't want to just waste that time. You know, I'm one of those people that just really believe that time is so valuable and that you can squeeze in some fun, but also sneak in some learning activities. So I like to always close up my year with my students doing some fun activities, but we're always learning, of course. So I wanted to share with you today some camping fun that I want to inspire you to try out. Now, throughout the years, I've done different things as end of the year events with my students. I've done ice cream parties and movies. I've done beach day, water day. One of my favorites that I just started weaving in to my close of a school year was camping. Yeah, camp out. And I'm not even really a camper, but I found that there were so many fun activities that you can do with your students. And of course, there's so many, you can't really squeeze it into just one day. So sometimes I would stretch out my camping fun activities / learning activities to several days. So I wanted to share a few of those with you. The first thing that I do before I do any activities with my students is I make a plan. And as I was sorting through some of my camping worksheets and different things I do with my students, I saw that I had made a plan, and I just wrote down different times in my day and then some different activities that I wanted to get done with my students. And I always, over plan most of the time, and usually we might spend a little bit of more time doing one thing over another, or maybe there's an activity that takes less time or the kids really like it, so we take more time. So I always know that I'm not just going to try to cram all this into one day, but I sort of always give myself a framework. And I think it's really helpful if you are planning any activity, whether you're doing it for your homeschool lessons or you're doing it for your classroom. If you've got a birthday party that you're planning and you're doing a theme, always plan out your times and your events that you want to get done and sort of give yourself a little roadmap. Don't be a slave to it. It can be flexible, but it can guide you, and it also can be a reminder, oop, I forgot to do such and such, as you kind of gaze at it. So I always try to give myself a little schedule. That helps me. So that's the first thing I do. I start planning the activity, and I get the kids excited. I start hyping up the day. Oh, we're going to have camping next week. And, don't forget to wear your, camp outfits. And if you have flashlights or binoculars, bring them in. So I just really make sure that the students and my families know that we're going to be doing these fun activities. Of course, I always request items from my families, and they're always willing to send in. What I do is send out a list for my families, and then I highlight different things that I need for each family member to send in, so that way I get all of the items I need, but not all of the same thing. So I kind of highlight what I want each student to bring in. So you've got to prep for whatever you're doing, because it's not going to be any fun if you don't first, like I said, give yourself a little roadmap, plan things out. And make sure you mark your days. Of course, there's so many things going on in the month of May that you're going to want to make sure you're not planning your camping or whatever end of the year activity on a day that there's another special event. So make sure you're organized with it. Now, let me share with you some of the fun activities and learning adventures that I like to do with my students. So, of course, first of all, I like to set up the room. This was a little campfire that I got. I got this from Amazon, and I'm going to share with you some pictures from last year's camp out with my students, and I've got this in the middle of the floor. I had some real river stones around it, and I got real sticks. I also purchased last year a carpet from a hardware store that looks like grass. So that was my first adventure with real fake grass, because I wanted to really look like the ground. And then I always purchase, over the years I have purchased some camping chairs. This is one of the ones I purchased, and I just, over the years collect these items. And sometimes I'll ask the students, if you have a little camping chair or one of those little plastic beach chairs, bring it in. So I end up always having enough of little chairs and little spaces. At my school, we also had these little kid-size park benches. I would bring those into the classroom, and you'll see those in the pictures. So you want to set up your room to look like a camp out. So when they arrive, welcome happy campers, they're going to feel the feeling of camping. And I always go to YouTube and find a fire and nature night sounds for camping, because one of my favorite activities that I love to do is have the students sit around the campfire and read. And I ask them to bring their lanterns and their flashlights, and then I set up this cozy campfire place, and we spend a good portion of the morning just reading. I gather a collection of books that they can read and share with each other, and they just sit around reading and enjoying a good book by the campfire. So that's definitely one I love to do with my students. Now, another fun activity is, and this is going to take some time, so if you don't have this right now, it can be done. This is going to sound really strange, but the kids love it. Over the years, I've been teaching a long time. I have collected real creatures and bugs, because camping is about bugs and insects, of course, and snakes, of course. You got to have your creatures. So over the years, I have collected bugs, and I have also collected a lot of magnifying glasses. I like to set up a table. Again, I'm going to show you some pictures of my students exploring the bug table, the insect table, and I have, this is actually a snake too. I just have collected these over the years. Anytime I'm taking a walk, if I see a dead bug, I'm picking it up. And you can too. This is a really easy, free collection. So over the years, I have collected, and kids will bring you bugs in too if you ask them. Make sure to tell them that they need to be dead bugs that they find already dead. So over the years, I have collected various bugs. This one I love. It's one of those rhino bugs. And my husband found me that one. And I set up a table, and I put the magnifying glasses, and they have a chance to explore and investigate and discuss. I do activities with my students where we are doing some work activities, but a lot of it, of course, because it's the end of the year, it's more exploring and discussion and a relaxed learning activities. So start now collecting bugs and keep collecting. And over the years, I have done different bug activities with my students along with the exploration. I have this poem that I set up that we recite. And I even have squeezed in some math. I had some over the years. If you don't have real bugs, you can get plastic bugs. So over the years, I have let my kids play with plastic bugs, and then I created this little bug sheet with stripes and dots, and created a Venn diagram where they could cut and glue the bugs into the Venn diagram to sort their bugs with stripes, bugs with dots, and bugs that have both, and then answer some questions. So analyze the data. So they love that. They can color the bugs. Again, nothing major, but again, you're reviewing those skills. As you are going through your day, you can also sneak in, just in between activities, some other things you can sneak in. You want to get some sight words in. I found this on the internet, color by sight words. So that can be like if they come in the morning, first thing, before you get started, they can have a little sight word fun. So that's always great. I also like to do some time review with my happy campers, and I have a little time story that I created, and it just says the Davis family is going camping, and it tells different times, digital times, and then they'll have to mark the analog time. So again, you can review your time skills with a time story. This is one that I created. Now, of course, no camp out would be at all any good unless you have a snack. And you know what the number one snack is. You got it. S'more. It's s'more fun with s'mores. I always have parents, these are items on that list that I send for parents and request. They send in the grams, the marshmallows, and the chocolate. And then we have a time where the students build their s'mores. I bring a little microwave into my classroom, and we time it out to make sure that we get the marshmallows perfect in the microwave. So that's always fun. And in connection with that, I created this little rhyming sheet. You can always sneak in learning. So as they're enjoying their s'mores, or right after, because they're probably going to be pretty sticky if they're eating their s'more, this activity I created has words in the middle, and they write 2 words, top and bottom, that rhyme with the word in the center. Again, reviewing all those skills that you've already taught, sneaking in some learning. So that's always fun. And of course, the s'mores are a hit and a delight. And that can be maybe in the afternoon as you're closing up the day. Now, one thing that my students always loved was the fishing. Yeah, we go fishing. Now, I was fortunate to have an area with a deck, not a deck, but an outdoor space, like a patio space, so to speak, and there was a pond out there, and it was all enclosed, beautiful. Again, look at those pictures of my students fishing, but they would go fishing, and I've collected this stuff over the years. These fishing items I got at the Dollar General. This is a hot mess, by the way. I pulled these out, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't store them together because they will get tangled. That's going to be a work getting them untangled. Anyhow, the students love to go fishing, so I bring in 2 baby pools, fill them with water, and I have that outdoor space, but you can find a space outdoors and get this prepped and ready to go. Maybe when you're doing your playground time, it can already be set up along the way. So, fishing poles, fish. Now, I've done this a couple different ways. I've had the kids individually just fish and count how many fish they, we set the timer for 2 minutes, and because they would be there all day. So we set the timer for a minute or 2 and let them see how many fish they catch. Last year, I had 2 swimming pools, and they raced against each other in 2 minutes to see who collected up the most fish. And then we just kept narrowing it down. All the winners raced each other, and that was fun. They loved that. Again, it's a great time filler if you have some extra time in the afternoon. They're getting kind of tired. And this, again, if you space this out, you can do fishing one day, and then you can have a challenge the next day. So you've got to squeeze in the fishing, all things camping, of course. Now, I didn't say this at the beginning, and of course I didn't have space here in my little learning corner, but a couple years ago I went to Target and got this cute little tent, which I do always put up. And again, you'll see those in the pictures. I let the students get in there and bring their flashlights when we have that camp out reading time. And then we just switch off and let different students go in there. And so they love that. I picked this up. I think it was like $15, and I've used it for several years. So this is something that you're going to collect items to make it a really great learning and fun experience. And, it's going to cost you a little bit up front, but if you're teaching or you're doing this activity every year, if you're a homeschool mom, you can do this for several years. You can use this several times during the year for different activities. So even though you're putting a little bit of money into it, it's going to be a great experience for the students, and then you'll have it in years to come. Hey, thinking about outdoor activities with the fishing, you're also going to want to go on a nature hike. That was something I did with my students last year. We had our clipboards, we had our pencils, and we had our handy dandy eyes opened. We had a list of things we were looking for. So on the list, I put a bird, bug, plant, trees, and we also watched the clouds, and they had to stop and look and see what the cloud shape. They had to watch a cloud and then decide what cloud picture they saw. And as we were going on our nature hike, we stopped, we paused, we looked for different creatures and plants. As they saw, for instance, a flower, they would check the box and then write what color it was. They saw a bird, check the box. What kind of bird or what color was it? And we could talk about the different birds that we were seeing. And then when we got back in, we could share and compare. So one student might have saw a red bird or a cardinal, another maybe a bluebird. Somebody might have seen a yellow butterfly, and somebody else might have spied a orange and black butterfly. So you could talk about your nature walk too. Again, they're putting their sense of sight, their sense of hearing, even the sense of smell. What do we smell outside? And we talk also about safety as you're hiking. You have to watch where you're going. You have to make sure you don't touch certain plants outside or certain insects. And so it's a great, fun adventure. And this is why I say you're going to want to do these activities, stretch them over several days, because the fishing is going to be outdoors. It's going to take a little while. The hiking can be on another day. Hey, but s'mores you can do every day. You got to squeeze those in every day, of course. Now, another thing that I've done with my students over the years is picnic basket math. This was actually a center that I had during the week of camping that they could go to. And again, this picnic basket was something that I picked up. I think it was on sale one year at a store, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I've had it for many years. And then inside, I put different picnic items that the students were going to see. Even got some food. And so they could pull out the picnic items, and then they would be measuring the picnic items with whatever you're working on in your classroom or at home, if you're using non-standard measure cubes, clips, or you're using standard measures and you have rulers and you're doing centimeters or inches. So they measure each item, they write the picnic item down, and then how long it was. Again, you know, you can be really creative with your camping activities, and you're having fun, the students are having fun, but they're also sharpening those skills, keeping them active, and they have a good little review as they're closing out the year. So I want to encourage you to have fun, even though the end of the year is very stressful, very busy, very active. So let's review. Don't forget to think about what end of the year activity you want to focus on. Maybe you don't want to do camping. Maybe you're going to do a beach day, or maybe you're going to do a water day. No matter what fun activity is going to be your main close up the year, you're going to want to make a plan. And then you're going to want to make sure that you've got some fun learning activities, nothing major, just review. And as you're out shopping or maybe out yard sailing and you spy some items that you can use for your fun days, and then you can make your collection and have these things for years to come. And also you can get your students involved. They may have some things to donate to your classroom collection too. All right, teachers, caregivers, moms, dads, family members, I want you to start dreaming, start getting creative for the end of the year. Have fun as you close up. Remember, you are the difference. You are the teacher difference. And you can set off the year, close it up with special memories that your students will not forget, and it will mean the world to them. All right, until our next time together, as always, keep watching. Don't forget to like and follow. Ring the notification bell so you will know when my next video is coming out, and have a good one.